Well, hello there, Tankers of the Blitz universe. I'm Flossie, and look at this. I, in fact, have no more horror lighting in my setup. You can actually see my face. I don't look like I was just in the basement of, like, Droodles. I don't know, dude. Anyways, I did get a new light, so hopefully we're A-okay now with the lighting setup for the videos in the future. But anyways, in today's video, we're going to be talking about an interesting topic. So normally, when you would think about balancing tanks, you'd think about wargaming changing the stats on the tanks, maybe adding new tanks to kind of change the meta of the game. But in this case, wargaming has, for whatever reason, started to balance tanks just with consumables. And in my opinion, this is one of the worst ways to balance out a game, period. Consumables are just a kind of they're a bit messy, and when it comes to balancing tanks, not having the stats increased themselves makes it very awkward when it comes to the balance. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at probably one of the worst examples of this, where Wargaming has tried to balance this tank out just with its consumables. And I am, of course, talking about the T-44-100. This is a tank that for the longest time has always been pretty crap. I'm not going to lie. It was available in an event for free a very long time ago, and it has always been mid. Like, no one plays this thing. There's really just so many downsides to it compared to all the other medium tanks in the game. So I will go over the tank stats, get into some live games, and kind of explain why I think balancing this thing with consumables was a horrible idea. So anyways, getting on into the gun, this thing deals 280 damage per shot on its standard shells, 240 on the premium, and 350 on its HE. So, I mean, its alpha's okay for a medium at tier 8. It only has 5 degrees of gun depression, though, which makes it very, very unflexible on any map, like literally any map. Its penetration is pretty mid. You have 194 standard pen, 247 premium APCR pen, which is very mid, and overall gun handling, that is meh. Again, this whole tank is very, very meh. Your DPM is okay. Again, very meh. 2000. And your mobility is, although good in reverse, the top speed going forward is nothing incredible either. And same with your power to weight. So again, a tank like this is just mid in general. And what Wargaming has tried to do is buff it using consumables. I think in one of the latest updates, they added all of these new consumables to this one tank, and it hasn't helped it in any way. Like, sure, tungsten is nice, but all of these consumables are only available to use for a certain amount of time during the battle. So once those run out, you're back to the same mid tank that you had before. And again, what is reactive armor going to really help you with in a lot of situations that this tank will be put in? What is reticle calibration going to do for a medium tank at this tier? And improved engine power boost, sure, it's going to help you, but then you're using up a slot that you should be using for something like tungsten instead. So it just doesn't make sense for these sort of tanks to get these kind of consumables. But let's jump right on into battle number 1 here and see what we can kind of do with the consumable loadout I have chosen, which is obviously adrenaline and tungsten. And here we are, battle number 1 on Desert Sands. So I mean, like I was just saying, I think consumables are a extremely messy way of balancing tanks. It's just very random. It's not really helping the tanks in any way. Like, this is something that Wargaming has been trying to do with other tanks as well. It's not just the T-44-100. This is something they've done with the T-25 Pilot. This is something they've done with their tier 10 rebalancing. They've added tungsten to the most random tanks in the entire game. It just doesn't fit. Like, these changes don't help the tanks in any way. Like, sure, tungsten is a nice consumable when you have it on a certain tank like the 60 TP. It's very, very useful. But for a medium tank like this, especially reactive armor, something like that is not going to help out a medium tank all too much. Like, sure, it's cool to have it for like 10 seconds, but again, once it's gone, it's gone. Like, it doesn't help the balancing of the tank itself for more than the use you're getting out of it. So, like, again, because this tank is so mid, the second my consumable that kind of helps make it stronger runs out, it's back to being completely terrible. And that's just not how tanks should be balanced, in my personal opinion. I mean, you guys let me know in the comments what you think of consumable balancing. Do you think it's something good that Wargaming is doing, or do you agree with me and think that it is not what should be happening in terms of tanks being balanced? Like, again, like I'm saying, reactive armor on a tank like this, like, what's that going to do? What's reticle calibration going to do for this tank? It just, again, it doesn't make sense. If Wargaming was to balance a tank like this, which they need to do, because it's still bad even with the consumables it has, they should be buffing things like its actual pen values. They should be buffing its armor, because this tank has very, very mid armor going for it. And that would actually help the tank out overall. And you wouldn't be relying on your consumable cooldown to get the best out of your tank that you're playing. So, I mean, maybe that's just a hot take, but I really do think that balancing tanks out with consumables is an awful idea. And yeah, anyways, we're in game number 1, obviously, and this is a complete steamroll for my team, so I'm not worried about this Vipera at all, and we're actually just going to push him full send speed into him. Oh yes, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to get around him. And, I mean, like, even with a super mid tank like this, sure, you can do well, but it really does need something. Like, the T-44-100, like I said, it's always been a horrible tank. You never see people drive this thing for that reason. Like, why would you play a T-44-100 over any other tier 8 medium in the game? And that's the thing with balancing out with consumables, is you're not changing anything to make the tank more exciting, to make it more different from another tank. Like, sure, tungsten makes it slightly different, but, I mean, who cares, bro? You can just pull out a tank that has more alpha and do the exact same thing. I just really don't understand. And especially since the armor profile is bad on this tank, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know, guys. This is just something that kind of pisses me off, especially seeing it happen to, like, tier 10 rebalancing as well. Like the T-22 getting tungsten, like the Chieftain getting reactive armor. Some of these things are also just making tanks extremely overpowered, way out of proportion as to what they should be balanced like. So, I don't know, guys. That's game number 1, though. We did okay in this tank, but again, the consumables did not help me at all, really. Sure, tungsten gave me a little bit of extra damage, but I still would have gotten basically the same damage out without it. So, there you go, guys. 3,400 damage dealt, 4 kills, and did we ace this thing? I'm assuming we did, yeah, because, like, no one plays this tank. But yeah, let's get on into game number 2, and, why is my email opening up, bro? Hello? I don't care. Anyways, okay. Nice. Anyways, jumping on into game number 2. I mean, you guys get the idea. Like, I know there might be some people out there who like having the consumables on these tanks, but I just don't think that's a way to balance out your tanks, Wargaming. Like, I really don't. There's so many better options out there. And in general, like, it would just clean things up if you didn't have consumables on the most random of tanks ever. I know you're trying to make them slightly different from each other, but consumables is not the way to do that. You can make things different by just either increasing or decreasing certain stats about these tanks. And it's just the way it is. It's just the way it should be, in my personal opinion. But anyways, we're going to get into game number 2 here on False Creek. And yeah, I will not be playing another game after this. I just wanted to shed light on this topic here, because I think it's a very important topic that I don't really see anyone else talking about here. And I think if Wargaming is going to keep going down this road of balancing things out with consumables, it's not going to end very well. I'm just going to be honest. So this game, I don't know why this Scorpion G has decided to go med side, but it's not working out well for him here. I'm going to pop my tungsten. It's really hoping to hit that guy in the hatch. It looks like their team's just, like, playing super duper passive here. We're gonna luckily pen the Scorpion with a nice HE. I mean, like, a tank like this, sure, you can still do well in it, but why would you play this, even with its consumables and stuff, over something like the 590? The Object 590 is so much better than this thing in every way. Its armor is better. It basically has the same DPM, maybe like 150 less, which is going to do absolutely nothing. You have better pen by like 30 millimeters, and you have heat shells too. So again, all of these stats, like, just giving it consumables is not going to change the fact that this tank is still worse than the Object 590, or for that matter, a lot of other tier 8 mediums in the game. Like, I don't know. I just really don't think it's a way to balance out tanks. Also, bro, like, look at this turret armor. Like, what? Bro, I'm just being penned by a Schwartz Panzer, bro. Oh, nice accuracy. Oh, my gunner's dead. That's why. Okay, well, anyways. We're going to keep sitting here. Oh, that's not fun. I don't want to see that guy full health, but, yo, 50T, move out of the way, bro. You're dead. Okay, nice. Oh, boy. I think I'm actually probably just cooked. I am probably cooked here. And this guy is definitely not scared of me at all, so, Yeah, I'm going to try my best to deal with this player, but chances are I am going to die in the process because I don't have any more team support around me. This is very, very fun indeed. I really need this Tiger 2 to help me out here, but I don't think he's going to. So we're going to try our best right here, and maybe I can get a side scrape shot. Oh my god, my gun depression. Like, bro, consumables are not going to fix the fact that I have terrible gun depression in this tank. Like, how did I not even have enough to get my gun down there? That doesn't make any sense. But anyways, there's the Schwartz Panzer. I'm going to try and shoot this guy once again. He's probably going to kill me, though. And that's it. And holy cow, I was losing so many brain cells watching this Centurion, like, not push when he's full HP. Gotta love teammates, guys. Well, there you go. We did actually win this battle. Not thanks to my tank or its consumables whatsoever. But, I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, we'll see how much damage we actually did. Yeah, we did okay, sure, whatever. 2,300 damage. It's not about the damage this game. This was solely a video, just me ranting about this topic like I just said. And yeah, there you go. That's kind of what I wanted to bring light to. The T-44-100 is a very, very mid tank, and balancing out with consumables at the end of the day is not going to help it in the long run. And if Wargaming keeps doing this with more and more tanks, it is just going to make the game very confusing for anyone trying to get into it, like new players, and it's going to make it a complete mess overall in terms of balancing. Anyways, with that out of the way, for any of you who are not yet subscribed to my channel, I highly recommend you do so, as it's a fantastic way to support content like this and stay up to date when I post videos almost daily. And with that, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.